Good morning. We call the Bible the Good News because it contains the good news of God's love and promise. The good news is the message that Jesus was the Son of God, and because of his sacrifice, we can have an everlasting relationship with God. And it contains the good news of Jesus' ministry, which shows us a way to bring good news to all people by showing God's love to all people. We all have people who we love. Our parents, grandparents, cousins, aunts and uncles. And we have our friends who we show love to, even though we might not tell them we love them. We show our friends love through kindness and sharing by being truthful and trustworthy. And while we might not say the words, "I love you," to our friends, we show them love by being a good friend. It's easy to reflect God's love to people who we love. It's easy for us to practice the ways of Jesus with our friends and our families, even if we don't get it perfect all the time. We want our friends and our family to know that they are awesome. We want them to be happy. We celebrate with them when they have success, and we comfort them when they are sad. We share with them and we help them. Those are the different ways that God wants us to show his love. We also all have someone that we know who is hard to get along with, harder to show kindness to, harder to like, let alone love. Maybe as soon as I said this, you could picture somebody in your mind. Maybe somebody who's always making fun of others, or someone who always seems to be arguing or refuses to share or to cooperate. Someone who has hurt you or one of your friends. It would be easy to answer unkind actions with unkind actions of our own. It's less easy to answer those unkind actions with love. Jesus teaches us that to be like God, we have to do more than just what comes easy to you. We all love people who are nice to us, but we also need to love people who aren't nice to us. The good news of the Bible tells us that God's love is even for these hard to love people. In one of his teachings, Jesus told the people that he knew it was easy to love those who love you. He said anyone can do that, but to show others God's love, even when it's difficult to do so, it's important. And that's what it is, to reflect God's image to others. So I have 2 glasses of milk. One is our love, and the other is God's love. They look kind of similar, but they're different. Our love ends up with limits. We limit who we show love to. God's love is limitless. We are all God's children. And God wants us to share his love with others. When we love others with God's love, it produces a bigger love than we can manage on our own. A love that can reach out to more people and reach people that we have a hard time showing love to. Jesus told his followers that it's easy to love those who love you, but important to show love and to do good towards those who hate you. And the love your enemies message of Jesus' story doesn't mean that we have to call everyone a best friend, but it does mean that we have to treat them as well as we treat the people we like. We must be kind and respectful to them. We must put their needs before ours. We must not treat them badly. We do this by giving God's love to them, and we put it in practice by praying for them, forgiving them, not talking badly about them, helping them in some way, and looking for the good that is in them. The Bible is a message of love, a message of good news, and because we know the good news, we can share God's love to all people. This week, if we find ourselves confronted with someone who is hard to love, let's work to show God's love to them. Let's reflect God's image to them. And when we do that, we will bring the good news to them.